Hi, second grade. My name is Miss Emolyn Liden, and I'm a teaching artist in the PACE program in Lafayette, Louisiana. Today, we are going to dive deeper into physical changes in science, and we're going to look for clues like, can it be bent, folded, ripped, crumpled, or cut? Does it change size, shape, or texture? We are going to be using paper today, and as you can see, I have a piece of paper that is not flat and thin, but it is crumpled into a ball. That is our first example of a physical change. The supplies you will need are 2 pieces of paper, one to practice with and one to practice your folding with to make our project. And we will also be using some colors, so if you have crayons or markers, and I think for this project, markers work even better because they are nice and bright in color. And as always, you can have a pencil with an eraser, and we will also be using scissors, and then we need some way to make things stick together, so you will either need tape or a glue stick. I recommend tape, but if you do not have tape, you can use a glue stick. You'll just have to hold the paper together until it dries. I'm very excited to explore more in our science class. Let's jump in. All right, second grade, let's continue to explore the concept of physical change. So I have the word here, and if you have a pencil and a piece of paper and you want to write the definition with me, you are welcome to do so. Physical change is a visible change in matter without forming a different kind of matter. You have studied the states of matter, and now you are studying physical change and chemical change. So let's read this one more time. Physical change is a visible change in matter without forming a different kind of matter. So 2 very important things here is that it is visible, which means we can see it with our own eyes. We can see it change. And it changes without forming a different kind of matter. If we think about it, the fact that elements can change into a different kind of matter is very exciting and fascinating, and it opens up a whole world of invention and chemical reactions and change. But a physical change does not create a different kind of matter. So we are going to be working on 2 art exercises today around this concept that we can see a visible change in matter without forming a different kind of matter. So today we are going to practice our folding, and we are going to make a, drum roll, we're going to make an airplane. Now, this time of year, I hope you can take your airplane outside and play with it safely, where you throw it outside and you do not throw it at other people, and it is not a good idea to throw it inside. But it is a thing that I think everyone should know how to make, because you can easily create something fun that creates a lot of joy, and you can go outside and have an adventure with something that you made. We have 6 steps that we need to do to make this piece of paper into a paper airplane, to give it a physical change. It's still paper, but guess what? It'll fly. So, turn your piece of paper up and down. We call this portrait, and it is taller from top to bottom than it is from side to side. Step number 1 is to take the right side of the paper and fold it to the left side. Now, as you learn to fold, you want to check the corners, which means this top corner is going to directly meet and overlap that bottom corner, the one below. And our hand is going to hold the paper down while our other hand finds the crease, and that's where the two pieces are folded in half, and we're going to press the crease down. You can press with your thumb or any finger that works well for you. Okay? Now we're going to open up the piece of paper and we're going to notice a definite physical change, and that is that we have a line in the middle of our page. This line is going to show us where to bring our next fold, because step number 2 is going to take the tip of your piece of paper, the top right, and bring it down to the fold. Now it's going to create a triangle, so you will have one tip of the triangle here and the other tip of the triangle here and one tip of the triangle here, turning this imaginary square into a triangle. So give it a shot, and we're going to guide the corner down, and we will stop when there is a point at the top. We don't want to overlap. We want to stop when we have a nice triangular point at the top. Use one hand to hold your paper down and use your other hand to press the fold. Any finger works to press the fold. Be patient. Go slowly and make sure you have a nice, strong, clean fold. Now we're going to take the left side, the left hand corner, and we're going to do the same thing. And we also want this corner to meet this point, and this is going to create a point at the top. Now if it seems a little bit confusing to you, just start by pulling the corner down and you will notice a little triangle forming. Inch by inch, bring the triangle closer to the other piece of paper, and eventually you will have a point at the top. Now you are welcome to move each page, each side a little bit to create a very clean, nice point at the top. I sometimes put my finger down and then I fold it down so that my finger has helped me keep a beautiful, nice triangular point at the top. Now we have a shape that looks almost like a house. Okay, we have the roof and we have the house on the bottom. Now this next fold also creates a triangle, but as you have learned, second grade, there are many different shapes of triangles. This triangular shape is going to be longer down the middle and a nice long triangle that reaches almost to the bottom of the page. Don't fret if this sounds confusing. All you have to do is take the point on your right hand and fold it to the center line. So this line is going to reach the center of the fold. See that? Take the point on the end and fold it over until this line, which is the edge, meets the center fold. And we can see where the center fold is because we have made a physical change of this paper. And now we press down, pressing all the way until we meet the bottom. And it is not to the very bottom. We have about an inch right here. If you put your thumb next to it, it should probably be about the height of your thumb. Good job. Now we want the left side of the airplane to look the same and match the right side. We do that by gently picking up the edge, and this line is going to meet this center fold. Okay? So you can use your right hand to hold the paper down, and you can use your left hand to guide the paper a little bit up and meet the center. There's the center. And then check the tip of the airplane. This is absolutely the hardest part, is to get the tip very nice and pointy. Good. How perfect can you make it? pressing down on the outside edge slowly, and what we see is that it is the same shape, and how cool is that? It is the same triangle on the right as it is on the left. We are ready for step number 4, and step number 4 is easier, I think. We've done a lot of the hard work already. Step number 4 is to fold the two sides together. So we're taking all of these folds and we're putting them in the middle, tucking it down in the middle. Work on your point again. Press it down. You can press all of the folds you have so far, and our new fold is the one right in the middle, and that is actually the one that we did as step number 1. The very first fold was right in the middle. Good, we are almost there. Step number 5, we are going to turn or rotate our airplane, and see how long that triangle is. We are going to fold the wings down, and we're going to take the top edges and we're going to match them to the bottom edge of the body. This is much easier to do if you have rotated your airplane this way. Take the top of the front wing and fold it down, and you can use a guiding line and a guiding corner right here. Guide this corner down to this corner. And folding always is easier if you take your time, and it is always easier when one hand holds down, the other hand checks the corners, and then you fold it down. So we have a really cool triangle right here. Awesome. Okay, we're going to rotate, and you can turn it or flip it around. So now we see what we saw before, which is a big triangle, and we're going to guide the top of the wing down to match the bottom edge of the body. And because we are doing 2 of the same folds, you'll notice the paper is right behind it. We are making the same shape. Okay, and step number 6 is actually the last step. We are going to bring our airplane up like this. It is very narrow, and we are going to lift up the wings of the airplane on either side so that it looks like this. Okay? These wings are going to help the airplane fly. Look at that cool airplane. But you'll notice that it's coming apart in the middle because that's just where we folded it. Some people like to put a paper clip right there under the wings because that provides a little bit of weight to the back. And as you learn more about science and engineering, a little bit of weight can help this airplane fly better. But today, we are just going to use some tape. The tape also provides a little bit of weight, and you pull off just about 1 inch, and we are going to tape the back of the airplane. So you're going to place the tape down, half of it, and you're going to fold it over to the other side. Okay? And we're going to do one more piece of tape. If you only have glue, that's okay. You can put your glue stick right inside and glue with your glue stick all the way down in the middle of your airplane. And then you'll want to press, press, press and hold it tight until the glue dries. If you have tape like me, one more time on the bottom of the front side, and we're going to wrap it around to the other side like that. Good. And if you're anything like me and you want this airplane to be perfect, I'm going to put a little bit of tape in the middle, and I don't have double-sided tape, so I'm going to do that by wrapping the tape back and making a little loop. See that? We have done a physical change to the tape as well as to the airplane, and I'm going to tuck this little loop of tape right in the middle and I'm going to press it like that, and then the airplane will stay together. Awesome work! I might even take this outside and throw it around and show you if it works for me. I can throw this one. Does it work? Ready? Woo! Our second project of the day to form and make a visible change in matter without forming a different kind of matter, we are going to explore jewelry making. Now, jewelry making is a way of changing metal to give it different functions. So we can bend metal, we can melt metal, we can give texture to metal. These are all physical changes because it is still metal. And I'm going to put this bracelet on right here to show you now this piece of metal has a function, and that is to wear it as a bracelet. Next, we can have metal that is pretty. Here is all metal, and it has its own form and its own function, and it is for your hair. We also have metal that can be folded and melted and reformed into tools like what we see below. This is to open a paint bucket. If we need to pry the lid up and pop it up, it can be really hard to do. So we have a tool now that is made of metal. The materials that we understand help us define the properties of matter, and if we understand the properties, we know how we can use it as artists and as designers. The next thing is something you see all the time and you use all the time. Yes, it is a fork. It is a very important tool. This fork helps you lift food and yum yum yum, eat it for supper, and it is made of metal. Metal comes in all forms, and it could be a sheet, and you can actually cut metal if you have the right tools. And you can bend metal by hammering it with some force, or you can bend metal if you melt it. It becomes more flexible. Okay? Those are all properties of metal, properties of jewelry, and properties that are changing, and it is a what? What kind of change? It is, yes, a physical change. We are going to demonstrate and act like jewelry designers, but sadly we cannot use metal in this lesson. We are just demonstrating that we understand how metal can change, but we're going to use paper because that is something we do have in our classrooms. It is higher from top to bottom, and fold the paper in half. You have been doing such a good job at folding paper. So you match the corners and you press down. Wonderful. Then we are going to cut the middle of this paper because we don't need all of it. We just need a little piece. So get your scissors. We see the physical change once again in the piece of paper with the line that has formed, and we are going to cut down that line. If you need to, you can draw down the line and then cut on the line. And that is up to you because in the second grade, you practice your scissors skills every once in a while. So if you want to draw down the line that you see and cut on the line, that is okay. Now we have two pieces of paper and we're going to take one away. We only need a little piece of paper to create this piece of jewelry. We are going to be making a bracelet today, and we don't want it to be too wide. If we tried to wrap this around my hand like this bracelet, it would be so wide. So we get rid of some of the width by giving it a physical change, reforming that piece of paper, and folding it where you match the corners, and then you press the fold. I hope folding is getting easier for you as you go along. Now open the piece of paper. We see that a line has formed And yes, you get to cut that line one more time using your scissors. Cut as best you can down that line. Okay, one more time. It is getting better, but it's still a little bit wide for your wrist. So I'm going to take this away. And this bracelet is thought of as a cuff because it's going to cuff the wrist and it is nice and straight, and it's a decoration. So you can decorate yourself if you want to show a friend that you're a little bit unique. You can design something like this, a nice bracelet. And this is the last cut we're going to make so that we have this width to work with to make our bracelet. One last cut. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to pick this piece of paper because it has a better cut on there. And we're going to take this strip of paper. It is now a pretty good width for our bracelet, and we're going to fold it in half. So take the side and reach it all the way over and fold it to the other side of the paper. Now we're going to fold it again. We're going to fold it in half. So hold one finger where the papers meet and reach the other side over to that side and press and hold and fold. One more time. We can fold that again. Hold down the side, press it over, press, hold, and fold. And guess what, second grade? I think you can fold it one more time, but we have to be very skillful with our hands, and we have to hold it tight, hold the corners, press it over, make sure the corners don't slide out, hold it and fold it. Great work. And just as we learned before, this is a reversible change because it is just a physical change, meaning we can reverse this folding and we can come back and create what we started with. This should be kind of fun. Reverse the change and put it down on the paper. Now, this is the time that you get to start adding color. We're going to think of ourselves as jewelry designers. So get some color. And crayons work, but in this lesson, I think markers work even better because they are very bright. If you have some markers, get them now. We're going to be working with some design elements, and I want to practice the spiral design and the diagonal design. And I have separated my markers with warm colors and cool colors. If you would like to do that, you're welcome to do that. And I'm going to use the orange to draw on each fold line because I want to see how many squares we actually have. You can choose any color you like and draw on the fold line, and that is where the paper has been folded and it shows us a line. There's one last fold right there. Good job. Now we see how many squares we get to design. As jewelry designers, it is up to you today. Let's practice 2 designs before we draw on our bracelet. The first design is going to be the spiral. The spiral design starts by holding your marker kind of straight up and down. Pencil, pen, crayon, any of these art supplies will work. And you start with a point and you make a circle around where you do not touch the ends. And you keep making a circle around a circle. And stop. Should we do one more? So it starts with a point, and you make a circle that doesn't touch, and it goes a circle around the circle. Make that spiral with me. Now you can create a pattern that you like. So here's another idea of a design pattern, and it's diagonal lines. So make one long diagonal line, that's a line that leans, and make some shorter ones below it. Shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter until you have a dot. And on the other side, shorter and shorter and shorter. And you can just visualize it and use your eyes and see if you can create a visual change. Great work. Okay, second grade, now we get to decorate our bracelet. So I'm going to move our sample design above, and I'm going to make spirals in every other box with my color red. Can you do that with me? So we have demonstrated physical changes by folding the paper today, making our paper airplane, and now making our paper bracelet. Physical changes are visible. Can you see the changes that we've made? And the paper airplane gave us a 3D form, and it's going to catch some wind and fly. I like that design. How does yours look? Let's get another color. I like the color blue. And make a design that you like. I'm doing the diagonal lines. In every other box. And that gives me a really fun design. So go in every box with splashes of color. You can use any color that you want. Great job. Next step, we get to measure the paper around our wrist. So I'm going to take off this bracelet and I'm going to put it around my wrist, and I see that my bracelet has some extra paper. So if I tape it right here, I've got that much extra. So cut off the extra, just a little bit of extra, and you may need somebody to help you put your bracelet on, because we are going to overlap it and tape it, and we want the design to be on the outside. Okay, so overlap it and tape it. I'm trying to do all this myself, but I think if you have someone to help you, that'll be even better. Look at that cool bracelet. Good job. Good work today, second grade. I had so much fun folding paper and making different art projects with it. I hope you have a chance to go outside with your airplane and give it a good throw and see how far it will go. I will see you again very soon. Once again, my name is Miss Emolyn, and as always, keep making art.